Hello, welcome to the Jim Show with your host, Jim. I just returned from a Toastmasters open house. I had the opportunity to act as the co-chair and kind of set it up. It's one of the two tracks that you can take in Toastmasters. There's a communications track and a leadership track, and there are manuals for both tracks. And you do various tasks in order to progress through the tracks. So it's pretty cool. It reminds me of Boy Scouts. Interestingly enough, I was a Boy Scout. I really enjoyed it. I loved getting all the merit badges. Following the tasks and completing the various things you had to complete and getting the different merit badges. And Toastmasters kind of reminds me of that, so it takes me back to my childhood, which is pretty cool. So the speaking track is a series of speaking projects. They're generally 5 to 7 minute speeches in the initial manual, which is the competent communicator. And then there are various advanced manuals that cover different topics, and there's about 5 projects in each of those advanced manuals. And there are 3 more levels along the speaking track, and you have to do 2 advanced manuals for each of those levels. And there are some other requirements as well. And then on the leadership track, you have to serve as an officer in the club, and then at a higher level as well, I believe a full term, you have to do a year of both of those to go up the various leadership levels. And there are requirements along the way to do that as well, to move up to those higher positions. Like you have to serve at the club for a year before you can serve at the higher one. It takes like a minimum of 2.5 years to complete the highest level in Toastmasters, which is a Distinguished Toastmaster or DTM. So it's a really cool organization. I found it to be very, very useful and beneficial. It's an investment that you make. If the club meets every week, it's usually an hour a week, and then the monetary investment is very minimal as well. It's like $45 for 6 months, so extremely minimal in that regard. And I have found it to be really, really beneficial. I think I got over my fear of speaking within my first speech, maybe. I went up and they do what's called table topics, which is impromptu speaking. A question is asked and then you're called upon. You have no preparation. And so you go up and you speak for 1 to 2 minutes. My first question was, how would you make watching the grass grow exciting? Or something like that. And I think I ended up talking about how I'd make it a competition between like you and your neighbor, and then being me turned it into we could all grow food on our lawns and feed the whole planet, right? So you just talk about whatever. You can totally change the topic, change the question, answer the question with a question of your own, that kind of thing. So it's really good to work on your impromptu speaking, which is something we all need to work on. We can all improve on. Because that's what happens most of the time in life is it's a sudden unprompted speaking situation where you're going to talk to your work colleagues or someone you meet out or just whoever. Most of the time you're not preparing a speech. So that is something you get to practice on a regular basis. You get to speak at every meeting. Generally, that's what they try to do. Again, I highly recommend it. It has made a really big difference in my life. If you have ever used Meetup, that's how I found all 3. I originally joined 3 clubs and did that for a while, but I found it to be a little much for me. Also, my wife wanted to attend, so we switched out one of the clubs that she goes to now, and I still attend the other 2. But you can find them. I found them on Meetup. I found clubs that just worked out with my existing schedule. This is something that is very encouraged whenever you're trying to have a new habit, is make it fit into your existing life. Don't make it a big change. That makes it a lot harder. So I fit them in so that I could go to one on the way to work and one during lunch break at work. It's right near my work. And so it's not a big change to my life. It actually gets me out of work, which may or may not be possible depending on the kind of job that you have. But many employers would probably see it as a benefit for you to be doing that. It's personal development. It will help you in your job. It'll help you communicate. Especially if you're in sales or any kind of client-facing position, it's going to help you, do a better job at your job. So definitely worth looking into and checking out. And I think that's going to be it for today. So I'll see you tomorrow.